I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Sometimes it does me well, ensuring that every last detail of any given project that I'm working on is given the attention that it deserves. Other times, and potentially more often, it makes it so I'm virtually unable to get anything done because of my inability to get as close as possible to the perfect version of the project that lives in my head. It's something I've been working at for a while, and generally I think it's just about finding a balance between valuing the quality of and simultaneously accepting the imperfections in a piece of work. After the 2 years I spent writing, shooting, and editing my first feature film, Hemet is Heaven, link in the description to go watch that, I feel like I've struck a pretty decent balance between the two. But for this video, I'm going to attempt the impossible, completely disregarding the perfectionist mindset that I've held over the past 13 years of my filmmaking journey, and attempting to write an entire feature film over the course of only 48 hours. Now you may be thinking, Donovan, how the hell are you going to write almost 100 pages of a script in only 2 days? And that's a great question. Depending on the person, writing a feature-length screenplay can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 years, and I'm gonna do it all in 2 days. Now I want to stress that this is nowhere close to the norm, and if you're a writer at home, you probably shouldn't do this. However, I've been sitting on the concept for this feature for a while, and I've written some pretty detailed outlines for it, but I've been unable to write because of the perfectionism that I noted before. And I'm at that point where I just kind of want to get the first draft onto the page and see where it goes. So come along with me and see just how much I can write in only 2 days. Like I said before, I'm a perfectionist to a fault, so the two hardest things for me when writing is starting the script and knowing when to stop. Because of this, I've set up some safeguards to help me along the way. In your average screenplay, there are 3 acts, and I have 48 hours to get all 3 of those done. Splitting that time into 3 segments gives me 16 hours for each act. Typically in a 90-page screenplay, Act 1 and 3 are your shortest, totaling usually around like 20 to 30 pages, which leaves 60 pages for Act 2. Going off of what I know about how I write, I should be able to get 20 to 30 pages done in less than 16 hours, which gives me a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to Act 2, which will probably take me the longest to get done since it's the longest of the 3 acts. I've also already written an outline for this script, so that should give me an idea of where in the story I should be at any given time. If I start to hit a wall or feel the relentless pull of writer's block, I can simply refer to the outline and go from there. Alright, this is it. 48 hours on the clock, and not a second to waste. Here we go. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so it's been like a few minutes and I have nothing on the page. So I guess I'm gonna use like the first hour, try to write maybe a little more detailed of an outline, like a scene list. And that's exactly what I did. Since the outlines I had written for this script were pretty basic, I wanted to do a scene list so that I had a better idea of where I should be at what point in the script. I felt like this would be a good use of my time since I had 16 hours to write this act, and I did not think it was gonna take me that long at all. Okay, so I have a basic scene list for Act 1. I think that's good for now. I'll go off of that and just see where we get, and then I guess when we get to Act 2, I'll just do another scene list and then do that again for Act 3. I don't know, we'll see how that goes. I'm only about 20 minutes down right now, so we're not too bad. I just need to get those 20-30 pages out and hopefully we'll be good. Page 1 complete, only 30 more to go. Okay, so we're about 5 hours in now. I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at. We're at page 28, And I think that's the end of Act 1. I got all the essentials in there, you know, character introductions, introduction of the conflict, inciting incident, and now we're on the call to action, so I think we're transitioning into Act 2. However, it is getting late, we've lost sunlight, so I feel like I can afford a little break. I'm gonna try to just take a load off real quick, make some food, and then we'll get back to it with Act 2. And I'm feeling pretty good about this. We're not even done with the first day, and we already have like a third of it done? A third? I don't, maybe like more like a quarter? This timer's gonna keep running, so anytime that I spend not writing is going to eat up some of the time that I have to actually write. So on that note, I'm gonna try to take as quick a break as possible, you know, maybe like an hour. And then after that, we're back to writing. I'm undecided on whether or not I'm gonna stay up all night and write. Doesn't sound very fun, but also, you know, I only have 43 hours left, so I'm gonna have to spend that time wisely. As of right now, though, I'm feeling pretty good. So, break time. This is me on my break. Why did I think this bit would be good? Zelda, do you have anything to say? Nothing to say. You're just gonna look around awkwardly. My break went a little longer than expected, so we're down to 41 hours. However, we're still ahead of schedule because the 16 hours that I allotted for Act 1 isn't up for another 9 hours. So, I guess you could say things are going pretty well. I'm gonna start by making a scene list for Act 2, and then we're gonna get into it. Let's go! Let's go. Upon trying to get to work on Act 2, I started to run into a bit of a wall. I would go back and forth between writing and then not writing, and I started to realize that something that I hadn't accounted for at the beginning of this process was distractions. As of recording this, I've worked another 10 hours or so I'm getting pretty tired. I'm sure you can hear it. Within those 10 hours, I got about another 15 pages done. Not my proudest moment, but we're up to page 43 now, so it's chugging along. But I'm struggling to do this monologue even, so I guess we'll see. If I end up falling asleep, that would be unfortunate.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I had fallen asleep and lost hours of valuable writing time. If I wanted to catch up, I had to get to work, and fast. I already knew going into this that the second day was going to be the longest. The clock would be running the entire day, so I would have to get the most done today. So I spent the day developing the scene list for Act 2, getting all the essentials in, and at the end of the day, I would go back through what I have and polish things up a bit.
So it is currently 1 in the morning. I have worked like crazy today. We've went from 43 pages to 72, so I'm pretty proud of that, and it's not bad. I'm guessing I have around like 20 pages left, so now I'm just deciding whether or not I should stay up all night and continue writing, or just call it a night, get some sleep, come back to it in the morning, and crank out those last 20 pages. However, if I do that, I risk potentially waking up with like an hour left on the clock, and that would not be good. But I'm feeling pretty uninspired right now because I've written like 30 pages today. I'm having trouble coming up with more interesting words, so it might be time to just call it a night. We'll see if I regret this in the morning. This might be a huge mistake. Only time will tell. Big mistake. I currently have less than 3 hours on the clock, and again, my goal at the end of this is to have about 90 pages, so there's still about 20 left to go. I'm gonna do my best to get this finished, but honestly, I'm feeling a little burnt out right now, so I'm not sure if that's gonna happen.
As I got to work, I felt unmotivated and uninspired. With 72 pages done and 20 more to go, the clock seemed to mock every passing second. And perfectionism lingered as I doubted every creative decision I've made during this entire process. The blank page stared back, laden with expectations. I may have been short on time, but the road ahead seemed to stretch for miles. But within the chaos of perfectionism and self-doubt lies an opportunity to write a 90-page screenplay in less than 48 hours. Determination became my guiding light amid perfectionism and self-doubt. Each keystroke only propelled me forward, turning the once taunting clock into a companion, urging perseverance. The keyboard transformed into an instrument, and the blank screen became a canvas, eager to be adorned. Oh man. The remaining 20 pages became nothing to me. They were just unexplored land, a playground of narrative fulfillment. I realized that perfectionism is not the destination, but it's a detour, obscuring the beauty of the creative process. The looming deadline transformed into a checkpoint, marking the progress of this creative experiment. I was no longer shackled by the weight of caring whether or not the script was any good. My fingers were like high-speed trains, smashing the keys at rates hitherto unseen. The clock was running out, but it was no match for me. There was no way I was gonna let this timer run out without completing my goal. I came here to write a 90-page screenplay in 48 hours. Approaching the final sentences, I understood that joy in creation lies not in the pursuit of perfection, but in the freedom to write a 90-page screenplay in 48 hours.
Alright, dramatic monologue over. Sorry about that. In conclusion, what have I learned from this? What have I gained? Was this a valuable exercise? Yes, I think it was valuable. I honestly was not expecting to finish a 90-page screenplay in 48 hours. Nonetheless, I got it done. It definitely needs some work. It's gonna go through some rewrites and stuff, but I've got the first draft on the page, so I accomplished my goal. However, would I write like this again? No. I'm mentally exhausted. I think it's important not to rush your work, you know? This was simply an exercise, and what I got out of it, I guess, is just that I can write. The quality of it, debatable, but the length of it... So, yeah. Yeah, on that note, I'm gonna call it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it, too, so if you want to see more stuff like this from me in the future, feel free to like and subscribe. You know, YouTube stuff. But on that note, yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next month. Goodbye. For now. Tee